Welcome everyone to InsightTimer. Good to see all of you. I want to extend a warm welcome to everyone to today's meditation circle. Before we begin, if you could let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from today. I'm streaming from Turin, Italy. That's in the north of Italy, near the foot of the mountains, very close to the Alps, where Italy meets France. And how about you? Where are you tuning in from today? And Gloria just shared in the chat, tuning in from South Africa. We have Bev, who just shared good morning from Phoenix. Dia, welcome back. Dia is tuning in from Canada. Sandy just shared from Park City, Utah. CJ just shared in the chat, good morning and Happy New Year from Northern California. Katie's tuning in from Southern Mountains of New Mexico. Pamela from Chicago, Keith from Key West in Florida, Katie from Texas, Michelle from, let me know if I'm pronouncing this right, Fuquay Varina in North Carolina, Gloria, we have another Gloria from New York, Gaynard's tuning in from the UK, we have Patricia from London, Kathy from Florida, Isabel from Cancun, Anna from New Hampshire, Letitia from Ecuador, and Bree tuning in from Michigan. Sue, I'm so glad you could make it. Sue's just shared in the chat. Good morning in Minneapolis today. Please feel free to keep the shares coming in the chat so we get a sense of where everyone else is tuning in from today. And we really have such a big global community tuning in to today's live. So firstly, before we start today's circle, I want to thank you and thank everyone that made it possible, everyone and everything that made it possible for you to be here today. And for today's live session, it will be a combination of a little bit of some self-reflection questions, a little bit of journaling, and then later on, we'll dive into a yoga nidra practice that is connected with the earth element. Ailey's just said, tuning in from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Holly, good morning from Lancaster in Pennsylvania. Mary J, welcome back. Good afternoon from the Netherlands. We have lots of friends from the US, from Canada, from South America as well, from Europe tuning in. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And for today's session, as we will be exploring both journaling and yoga nidra, you may wish to prepare some cushions, blankets, pillows, whatever you need for the yoga nidra practice. And then also because we will be doing some self-reflection questions. Now, later on when I share the prompts, you are welcome to share your responses in the chat if you wish to share them. And of course, no obligation to share them. And otherwise, if you wish to keep the answers for yourselves, what you may want to do is to prepare some writing material, such as your favorite journaling book. Maybe if you have a diary, or perhaps if you keep a digital journal instead, then a digital journal, you want to have that open and ready for today's session. Okay, so before we dive in, I want to firstly introduce myself and also welcome you into the circle by doing our gesture, a welcome gesture, which we will also do at the end. And I will also give you a quick overview of how long the session will be. So warm welcome to today's session. My name is Wen Ling. I'm a mindfulness and well-being and creative cycle coach here on InsightTimer. I'm from Singapore, and some of you may recognize my accent. I am now living for the last couple of years in Italy. And today it is my joy and pleasure to be here with you so that in our collective, we prepare our soil. Some of you may have been drawn to today's session because of the name of the session. And the winter season is the season where many farmers begin to let the soil lay dormant, lay fallow. And I think it is a beautiful metaphor because many of us with the hectic pace of modern life, with the societies that we live in, and with all the commitments and obligations we have, winter season and the end of the year doesn't really tend to be actually a season of slowing down or even taking pause for many of us. So I think that using this metaphor of tending to the soil and farming and growing and nurturing, harvesting is a great metaphor to remind ourselves that this is an opportunity and a reminder from nature, energetically outside, that's what's happening. And we want to also receive this invitation and this reminder to do this for ourselves inside. Now, maybe it might not be possible for you to do so because of your work commitments or because you are a caregiver for someone else. And I know some of you personally, and I know many of you have many different things that you have to manage, people you have to care for. But the least you could do, I think, in this time is to allow pockets, right? Maybe not an entire season of letting your soil lay fallow, but perhaps recently I was working with a client and she was asking me, how do I make time for rest for myself when it starts to become exhibition season? So this client is an artist. It starts to get really hectic. I have to prepare lots of things, and there's virtually no time for myself. So rather than having an entire season of unbroken rest and restoration, we might look into more sustainable practices of micro rest or micro practices where we do micro restoration. So, in 5 minutes, what can I do to restore my energy? In 15 minutes, whenever I have a little pockets of time between picking up the kids and caring for my elderly parents and replying work emails, for example, whatever little time, what can I do? Is there something I can connect with energetically, physically, emotionally? Maybe a quick breath work practice, a little connecting inwards, or being mindful that, or maybe even reflecting on a specific question to think back to a memory from this year that was really rewarding for you. So these micro practices, I think, are what are essential and also really sustainable that will help us create this sense of deep restoration and nourishment so that you can really restore your soil so that we can prepare it for the coming season, so that then you can plant the seeds you'd like to plant, water them, irrigate the soil, and then naturally, in due time, with the right conditions externally and also internally from within you, then it will begin to sprout, begin to flower, it will begin to blossom, bear fruit, and then it is time for harvest. So that's the metaphor and the intention behind today's session. And welcome to our friends who have just joined in. I just shared a little context behind today's session. And yes, let's see. So today's session will take roughly around an hour, perhaps slightly more with the Q&A. We will actually begin with some journaling questions, and then we will move on to the Yoga Nidra. Of course, at the start, we will do a welcome gesture and some connecting within to land, really allow yourself to land before we start to journal. So some of you may already have a journaling practice, and something that is, I find, really powerful, if you're not yet already doing, is journaling from a very intentional space and place. So very often when we start to think or plan or even look back on the year that has passed, or if you have the practice of looking back on the week that has passed or the month that has passed, if we are constantly in that state of go, 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 of doing, executing things that need to be done on the to-do list, fulfilling obligations that need to be fulfilled, caring for people, checking things off the list. And this is important. If we bring this mindset into the journaling, this will only take us so far. Instead, when we drop deeper into ourselves and really come into that state of connectedness and that state of being with your heartfelt intention, this allows to come to surface much deeper insights, more poignant insights, more precious insights that may not be accessible at a surface level. And the reason why this is the case is I mean there are many ways of explaining this, but let me, because I'm a yoga teacher as well, let me use the yogic philosophy as a metaphor for why this is the case. So in yogic philosophy, there is the concept of the frameworks of the five koshas, or the five layers or sheaths of you. Think of this as a a framework of looking at yourself as an onion. An onion has many different layers, and there's the core and the heart of the onion right at the center, but this is hard to access. We have to really peel all of these outer layers, and then gradually and slowly then we can reach the center. And this is another metaphor, is also, if any of you have seen the Russian dolls, where they have a big doll, and then you remove it, there's a smaller doll inside, and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually you get to the smallest doll that is inside. But so this is us. This is a great way of looking at us. We have many different layers, and there's the most tangible and physical aspect of our being, which is the physical body that we use to interact with the world. We can sense and feel the environment. Then, even deeper within, some of you may already be very intuitively connected with the layer that is your energy body. And one of the best ways of sensing and connecting with your energy body is through your breath. And because your breath has a fluid and pulsating quality, very much like how energy is never stagnant, but often also pulses. So the breath is also a great way of accessing your energy body. Even more subtle beyond that, so we are human beings that can process information, and we have what is called the intellect. So we have the mental body, so that when there is something that comes towards us, we can then discern whether it is a threat or whether it is not a threat, whether it is pleasurable, for example, and then we know how to interact and respond to this stimulus, given any situation that we are in. And that's really what we're doing at the mental body level, using various different mental models that we've had in the past, matching this situation that's in front of us with what we know from the past. And maybe if it's something new, then deciding in that moment, okay, how we might respond logically. Now, that is the mental body, and that's really powerful as well. And if we process, for example, or we do journaling, or we connect and set an intention or plan the coming year from these layers, it is powerful, but doesn't fully access all of you. Now, let me continue to share why. So, beyond this logical aspect of you, like this strategic, let's say, strategic way of looking at things based on your past experiences and things like that, there's an even deeper layer of your being. And I think because many of you have been here on InsightTimer, maybe you've meditated for a long time, you might be familiar with the concept of the intuitive body. You might have experienced pangs of intuition or gut feelings where you knew something without being able to explain how and why. And you just feel a strong compulsion to do it. Sometimes it is even at odds with what your logic or what your past experiences, these mental frameworks, tell you. And then in some moments, actually, if you follow this intuition, it turns out to be the right decision and a good decision. Now, this is the intuitive body, the part of you that knows and knows that it knows. And now I'm going to use another metaphor, and this one comes from Taoist philosophy, which is rooted in my teachings of Qigong, the creative cycle, the five elements, which is very central to my work and my coaching. So, in Taoism and the belief of this never ending cycle, pulsation of the seasons, the shifting energies of the day into the night, the moon cycle, the menstrual cycle, our life cycles, the whole cycle of the planet, for example, there's the belief that there are three levels of existence. There's heaven, which is above us, there's earth, which is below us, and there's the level of the human or the heart where we are. And we are this bridge between heaven and earth. And I find it no coincidence that in many different religions, philosophies, 3 is a very special number because it signifies the Holy Trinity. It is the first number that is a very stable base number. And in this philosophy, heaven represents, this is the most yang in terms of yin yang. Some of you may know of the concept of yin yang, where yin is this energy that is more feminine, it is more soft, it is allowing, it is this darkness, it is being with the mystery, it is asking questions and sitting with the uncertainty without rushing to need to know the answers. Yang, on the other hand, is this energy of doing, this full power and this execution, this confidence, this masculinity. Remember, these are energies, not gender. So we're not talking about genders here. All of us have these energies within us. And it's having certainty, it's clarifying when there is doubt. And we need both of these energies. We can't just sit with uncertainty all the time and wait for answers and then not take action. And neither can we rush into things, because when we rush into things before there is clarity, before the moment is ripe, then we fail. Right? We put in unnecessary effort, and it ends up to become striving. So yang from above also is associated with the energy of the sun, which is this strong energy that is giving light and sharing it with the world. And in the 5 element theory, the element that is the most yang is fire. So that, imagine that above fire, if you see the flame, it rises and reaches the top, right? And if we think about the opposite is yin, which is water. So water flows all the way down to the earth. So earth, in the 5 element theory, has many different roles and representations. It represents the more tangible aspects of our being, and then water is closest to the source, so it's even deeper down. So if we think about the hierarchy, there is the fire element above, and then there's wood. This is not relevant in today's context, but those of you who are interested and you want to find out more, you can drop a note in the chat. I will elaborate this in future. Then there's the earth. There's the earth element that is metal, which is even closer to water element. And then there's the water element. So let's come back to the framework of the 3 levels of existence. There's the sun above. You are here in the middle, right, bridging heaven and earth. Then there's the earth beneath you. A nice way of looking at things and of our existence is we are constantly bridging the concrete, what is real, what is to be done, what is tangible, what is mundane, and the abstract, the things that are real, but you can't hold them with your hands. They are out there, and they are your dreams, your fears, your aspirations, your hopes for the future, your fantasies, your inklings of what might be. So all this thing that is real, but you cannot put, it is not quite yet manifest in the world, not tangible, not real yet, as in we can't hold them. They are yang and they are above, and everything is possible. All is present there. Yin is what is already manifest, everything that is here and now and has been as well. So we can feel the weight of our bodies down on the earth. We can connect with our breath. We are in community with other people. It is the food that nourishes us. It is the things that we have to do. And so it's the sensations that we have in every passing moment. So we are here in this special space between this heaven and earth and always bridging these two. And this is why this space of the center is so important. So let me come back to why I was talking about this. We were talking about a different framework, right? The sheaths, the koshas, the layers of being that is from the yogic framework. We talked about the physical body. We talked about the energy body. We talked about the mental body. And then where we stopped was the intuitive body. Now, how do we bridge heaven and earth? We cannot just do it from the brain, from the logical aspect of our being, because that is not enough, right? Logic and what we know from the past and rational thinking, that is only one side of the coin. There is the other side, which is the yin. It is being with the mystery. It is cultivating unshakable trust. It is flowing and allowing and being curious in every passing moment. Oh, how might this unfold different to what I projected or expected? And or even better, holding back from expectations and really being in that state. And many meditation teachers will call it the beginner's mind, meaning it's a blank state. Now, it's really difficult to enter into this state. And perhaps some of us will try an entire lifetime and not be able to be for a long time in that state. But this is what it is. And in order to bridge this heaven and earth, we connect it through, yes, our mental capacities, but more importantly, what organ is quite in the middle of us? It is the heart. And in traditional Chinese medicine, in acupuncture, in Taoist philosophy as well, the heart has a very important role in the system. It's very, very interesting because this centuries old practice never gave much importance to the brain. Instead, in traditional Chinese medicine, the heart is believed to be the emperor or the empress of the kingdom that is us. It rules over all the other elements and the other organs. It helps to reign over and make sure there's this smooth flow and the fertile soil that and land that is your body is irrigated properly with all these other things, this energy that is you. But the heart is the one that reigns it all. And this is why it is so important to drop from the mind into the heart and let these two spaces connect and commune, just like heaven, the sun, must also let its energy and sunlight fall upon the earth and warm not just the earth, but even deeper, the minerals beneath, the water and the soil deep inside the earth's core. So there is this connection, and this is why the fourth sheath of the fourth layer, the intuitive body, is so important. And how do we access this intuitive body? Many practices can help us access this. And I know some of you may be able to share if you would like to share what. I think this is a good time actually for a question. I've been talking for very long, which wasn't my original intention. One thing leads to the other, and always I find there's this spontaneity that happens in these lives. So my question to you is, how do you connect with your intuition? This is, I think, a good segue into this circle and having this to and fro. And I'm going to read a couple of answers first from our circle, our community, before then continuing with this explanation. Sandy mentioned through meditation. Beautiful. Pamela has shared, I'm definitely more intuitive when I'm meditating regularly. Moon shared through stillness. Gerard shared reading sacred texts and journaling. Johnny shared walking or sitting in nature. Neka said being in silence. Gloria shared prayer. Beautiful, beautiful. Keith mentioned through flow writing, stream of consciousness writing. Kathy mentioned nature and meditation. Glenn mentioned most intuitive decisions come to me in the shower. I am with you on that, Glenn. Water has this quality. It is yin. It is closest to the source. It is the most intuitive of all the elements. It does not have its own agenda. It allows and brings to surface what is. And we are right now in the season of winter, which is where this watery energy is flourishing. Julie has shared, still trying to pinpoint it. It seems to just happen. And then there are certain moments. Right? For those of you who are starting to connect with your intuition, my invitation to you is to notice what circumstances or what ingredients allow your connection with your intuition to surface. And you don't have to answer this now. It might be something, again, very yin or very meta, that you sit with this question and you be curious and you allow the answers to come to you. Beth has shared, when I am with my friend who always can read my mind. Kibo, welcome back. Konbawa. Kibo has shared, I find my intuition by listening to and following my gut feeling and breathing deeply. Beautiful. Please feel free to keep the shares coming and I will read them. So we've shared so many in the group, and I love crowdsourcing because there are so many different ways. We are here as a collective. Water, which is very yin, very intuitive. It is also about tapping into the collective wisdom of this pool that we are in, our friends, our communities, InsightTimer, the global community, and then connecting with the part of you that is beyond your small self. We have this metaphor both in yogic philosophy and Taoist philosophy that there's this a lot of the suffering and the pain and the struggle we experience because of our manifest body, meaning we have a spirit and we have these intangible aspects of our being, but we also have the tangible aspects of our being. And the tangible aspects of our being is where we derive pleasure, where we have memories, where we make connections, where we experience the world. But this is also where we experience our flaws, where we suffer, where we have weaknesses, and we are human. And this is what makes us human. But so it is the aspect of our small self, acknowledging the smallness of us, while at the same time connecting with the big and the vastness of ourselves that are beyond the limitations of our small selves. And one of the best, I think, examples that I love to give when I'm speaking to my clients or my students when I'm running workshops is this idea that some of you may also resonate with this idea or concept. Like for me, as I started my spiritual journey, for the longest time, I always looked outwards into the world, seeking and hoping to find one teacher that might embody all the wisdom and have the story, have the way of communicating, have the right body language, have the kind of energy that would make me feel that, oh, yes, this is the path I would like to follow. This is the wisdom I have been seeking all my life. Actually, the true teacher and the best teacher that you can have for yourself is you, and it is inside of you beneath all these layers. And it is like one of my teachers, I often mention this in my lives, one of my teachers, Eric Schiffman, who is the founder of Freedom Yoga. He is also a meditation teacher. He has authored many books on yoga. He uses the metaphor of how um, each of us is like a ocean wave, or I like to think of it as a droplet, for example. For each of us, we have this unique and distinct quality that makes us different from others. This is our small self, our unique self. We are like a wave, a distinct droplet, a special candlelight that is different from all the others, a big bonfire, for example. But within us, water holds the memory of all the places it has been. It holds the memory of the quality of being water itself. And by virtue of that, it has all the wisdom of the entire ocean. And so you are your closest point of contact to the wisdom that you have been seeking all your life. It is not outside in the world. Perhaps, yes, someone may tell you something, or you may encounter a situation that brings or to surface something, but it is through your own perception, your own feeling, your own integration of this external knowledge that then it comes to you. So you are your own best and true inner teacher. Just like if you are an ocean wave wanting to go back to the ocean is already here. It is inside of you, not outside and not around. All right, we are also around. I mean, that's also another metaphor of looking at it. I'm going to share a few more comments that come through the chat. Sue has mentioned when we were talking about intuition, it feels instinctual. Julie has shared, agreed, Sue. I'm wanting to expand it further. Elise has shared, when I make a grand statement that may not make sense, when I wait and watch, it actually becomes true. Now, sometimes also recently, just yesterday, I had I facilitated a end of the year mindful circle, a little bit like what we're doing, but in person. With a group of friends and acquaintances. And also, we did a practice of visualizing yourself. Well, actually, let's try this at the end of today. I will make a note to do that, and then I won't spoil the surprise. Um, I will do that at the end of today's session. Okay. And then if you are available, I invite you to join me to the end. I mean, looking at how today's session is going, I think we will take a little bit longer. So rather than finishing at the top of the hour, I think we might finish 15 minutes, 20 minutes past the hour. So if you can still stay till the end, join us and stay till the end. So let me come back to the metaphor and the framework of the five sheaves. So I mentioned there were five, right? But actually, we only talked about four. So there's the physical body, there's your energy body, there's your mental perceiving body, there's the intuitive body. And then at the core and the heart and the pure essence of your being, there is what we call the Ananda Maya Kosha. Ananda in Sanskrit means bliss. And bliss is can be defined in many different ways, but it is to me a permeating sense of peace and serenity and a kind of undisturbed joy that cannot be taken away or given to you. It is already there. It is always present. And this is the true nature and the essence of our being. Now, when we create our reality, for example, when we look back on our past, we are rewriting the memories. We can choose what to tell ourselves about what happened yesterday, when we were at the bank and there was a long line, or when someone cut us in the traffic, for example. And the same thing when we project into the future. And I know we are just 2 days away from the coming year. So many of you may already be doing exercises where you are visualizing for the coming year who you'd like to be, what kind of path you'd like to have, and like also what you'd like to manifest in your life, whether that is in your career, your relationships, your personal growth. Now, it's really important that when we do this, we don't just do it, as I mentioned from before, from the mental level or from the physical level as well. It's important to have these physiological emotions of elevated feeling that you can really feel in your body. But we really drop down into these deeper layers of this intuition, of this peace, this permeating bliss, and this connection with source. I like to call it source, SOURCE. So rather than the sauce, tomato sauce or ketchup sauce, and I know my pronunciation may be a little and confusing for some of you who are not familiar with a Singaporean pronunciation. But when we drop into source, like the source power, the source of everything, then all is possible. Really, you are the infinite, because that is the true essence and nature of your being, beyond this physical body, beyond the aches and pains, beyond the struggle, beyond the yearning, the longing for the perfect relationship, or for example, better living circumstances, or for suffering to end, for example. Right? We experience all of these other things in our more shallow and more manifest layers of being. And so it's important to have this deep connection, and we can't have just one or the other. It's just like yin yang. We have to have this bridge. And so this is why all of these practices that we shared just now in the chat, whatever makes you feel connected with the part of you that is beyond what you can explain, with whatever makes you feel connected with a deep permeating sense of peace and bliss that no one can take away from you, that is the key to guiding you and putting you in that state where then you can begin to create your coming future. And we want to create, and I recently had this conversation with a dear friend of mine. She's a master manifester. Some of you may know her from the last conversations where I mentioned her way of being is constantly manifesting. She is in every single moment manifesting. She's not so much in the physical world, but she lives very much in here and also deep at the core layers. And her lesson is to bridge and to be more out here, just like the rest of us. And we are all here on planet Earth, I think, to learn something or another. And her lesson is something quite different from ours. And most of us want our lesson is really to go deeper within and to trust and build this connection within. Let's see, a few more comments have come. Katie has shared in the chat, a snowflake has the wisdom of the whole shape of the water from which it came. Let me repeat that. That is so beautiful. A snowflake has the wisdom of the whole shape of water from which it came. Thank you for sharing that, Katie. That is, I think, a really beautiful image, metaphor that we can all connect with. I think, how about this? I'm feeling that at this moment, actually, it would be probably a better practice if we now drop into the Yoga Nidra first. And then after we come out from the Yoga Nidra, we'll do a little bit of journaling. And then there'll be the special surprise at the end, which I won't share with you what that is. But I assure you it will be really fun, a little bit challenging. Some of you who have joined me for my sessions online or in person may have already experienced that from before. So, what do you think? Let me know in the chat. Are we ready for the Yoga Nidra? Marie, yes, you made it. Welcome back. Good to see you. Sandy said, yes, we are ready for the Yoga Nidra. We'll just give a few more moments. Michelle is also ready. All right, let's have one more person. Sue said, yes, Wan Ling, Mari J, yes, Letitia, yes, T Lady Nat, yes. Okay, so it sounds like I think collectively, energetically in our space, we've all agreed that this is a good time. I'm also feeling that, yeah, let's do the Yoga Nidra first. So before we settle into the Yoga Nidra, I talked a lot about the water element because the water element is associated with the winter season. It's the closest to source power, closest to this intuition, this the ocean, this collective consciousness. But also, we are at a pivotal point of transition. And in pivotal points of transition, the earth element is what comes to play. And the earth element is so important because it is very tangible, it is real. It supports and nourishes all that is on planet Earth. It brings us into the center. So there are all the other four elements that are north, south, east, west, and Earth is right in the center. Earth is also the season of harvest. It is also the season and the time of transition between one season to the other, between one time of the day to the other. So today's Yoga Nidra practice is a Earth Element Yoga Nidra practice to support you to feel this sense of deep nourishment, that you are being held by the mother herself. So I want to invite you to create a cocoon, whatever that means for you. Okay, to create a cocoon, to be comfortable and to lay your body on earth, knowing that your body itself, right, the most physical layer of your body is also the earth. And that's the most tangible aspect of your being. So let's take the next couple of moments to let your body, let your earth lay on earth. And then I will guide you through this Yoga Nidra practice. And as we settle into a connection with Mother Earth, who nourishes us, when we are imbalanced with the earth element, it manifests as this feeling of contentment, this feeling that you are at home in any situation, in any relationship, at any place of time. You are centered. This is where you are meant to be, and you feel adequate. You feel more than enough. And that is earth when in balance. And when out of balance, it can sometimes surface as the form of overthinking, worry, not being able to set healthy boundaries, a feeling of guilt, and always wanting to give to others, and not being able to nourish yourself. So today we cultivate this practice of self-mothering. How can we nourish and mother ourselves through this practice of Yoga Nidra? And then we release overthinking, we release unnecessary worry, and we let ourselves drop into this cocoon of contentment. So as you begin to settle into the shape or the space that is your Yoga Nidra practice today, you might be lying on your back, on your side. You might be using any cushions, blankets, pillows for support. I love to use an eye mask so that the Yoga Nidra practice is really inwards, and that really helps me drop in. If that feels good for you, you might do that. Or if that feels like it's not safe, then allow your eyes to be half or maybe even fully open, but you guide your awareness inwards so that you can really move from layer to layer, from surface, the periphery, deep into the core of your being. And now, guide your awareness to the shape, weight, and the form of your physical body that is like the earth herself. So, this is the most tangible aspect of your being. We explored this earlier on, the physical body. And this is called the Anamaya Kosha, the sheath of you that is physical, that is tangible and concrete. And with your breath, we're going to, as you exhale, gently begin to let the weight of your body release through the points of contact of your body with the surface underneath you that is holding you. This may be the back of your head, your occiput, your shoulders, your arms, your forearms, the back of your wrists, your palms, maybe your buttocks, some part along your spine, maybe your calves, maybe any points of contact of your legs with the ground beneath you, your heels, any parts of your feet that might be in contact. Notice the parts that are in contact with the earth. And then when you breathe out, let them release further down. And with every inhale, allow the breath to rise, exhaling, releasing, and then inhaling, allowing the breath to rise. And continue to notice this sacred, natural, effortless kind of rhythm that is unhurried, unrestricted. And you stay with this rise and fall of your breath. Beyond your physical body, you start to notice there's a ebb and flow of how your inhale releases into your exhale, and your exhale surrenders into your inhale. At the same time, with each exhale, you allow yourself to yield, to release the weight of your worries, to let go of unfinished tasks, responsibilities, obligations to be fulfilled. And with each inhale, you feel the energy you are made of. You feel the pure presence of your being. You feel what there is to feel and notice in this and every passing moment. Every exhale is a release, letting go of any roles you are playing, any responsibilities you have. And every inhale is an allowing as you meet yourself here, where you are now. As you continue to allow this energy to pulse through you, as you continue to experience this energetic quality of your being, Now we begin to connect with your Sankalpa. In Yoga Nidra, the Sankalpa is a positive I am statement that is true at the core of who you are. It is your essence simplified into a positive I am statement. And now, as you hear the sound of my voice, you might notice that beyond your physical body, beyond your energy body, there is also the part of you that is perceiving, that is processing, receiving all there is to receive, this mental layer of your being that is being told to connect with your Sankalpa. At this moment, as you connect with your Sankalpa, allow it to surface from the center of your being. This positive I am statement, which could be I am present, I am safe, I am well, I am held. Whatever I am positive statement that is a true reflection of your current state of being, let it rise to the surface. And once it has formed, you may wish to repeat this quietly and internally to yourself 3 times. And if no particular sankalpa comes to surface, allow an openness to whatever guidance your inner teacher has to offer you. Remain aware of my voice and stay in this stillness as we begin to transition into your practice of Yoga Nidra. The practice of Yoga Nidra begins now. Let these sounds and the sound of my voice support you to transition from an everyday state of consciousness into your practice of Yoga Nidra. And at the end of this practice, these same sounds will support you to transition back into a more everyday state of consciousness. With your next exhale, follow the natural rhythm of your breath, allowing it to flow and be. Feel and experience this vital life force flowing in and out of you. With each inhale, feel like a wave rising, this bright, sparkling life force that we call prana or qi. And then with each exhale, you feel it subsiding, dropping away, and gently descending. Experience this rise and fall, and this expansion and contraction of your breath, like the pulsating and beating heart of Mother Earth herself. As you continue to be with this breath, To let this breath breathe you, become aware of your breath as a dear friend. This friend you've known for so long, this friend you've known since the moment you were born. For the next 9 breaths, count each of your exhalations from 9 to 0. If you lose track of the counting, it doesn't matter. What matters is you let your mind rest with each exhale. Let's begin. Now, wherever you are with the practice, gently let go of this counting and return to the awareness of your breath, breathing you. Continue to allow your breath to breathe you as we now begin to guide the light of your mental awareness around your physical body, as if your physical body is like the fertile soil and land of the earth, Mother Earth. And each point your awareness, your consciousness lands, it is like a little ray of light that begins to land and brighten and nourish, illuminating and rejuvenating the soil of your body. We begin at the root of your tongue, the tip of your tongue, the roof of your mouth, the bottom of your mouth, the inside of your left cheek, the inside of your right cheek, your left ear, the lobe of the ear, the shell of the ear, inside, and all around your left ear, your right ear, the lobe of the ear, the shell of the ear, inside, and all around your right ear. The back of your head, let a little ray of light brighten the soil there. The crown of your head, your right eyebrow, and your left eyebrow, your right eye, and your left eye, your third eye, that sacred space between your eyebrows, the bridge of your nose, the tip of your nose, your right cheek, and your left cheek, the space between your nose and your upper lip, and your lower lip. And all along your jawline, from your left jaw to your chin to your right jaw, let a little ray of sunlight begin to warm and nourish the fertile soil and land that is your jaw. The center of your throat, feel the light and warmth there. Your left collarbone and your right collarbone. Your left shoulder blade, your right shoulder blade, the center of your heart. Let a little ray of light land and brighten and warm and illuminate that space. Your right lung and your left lung. your right arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, center of the palm, and all five of the fingers of your right hand, your thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and your little finger. Your left arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, center of the palm, and all five of the fingers of your left hand, your thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and your little finger. The center of your navel, let a little ray of light illuminate that space, warming and nourishing it. The space 3 fingers below your navel, your left hip, your right hip, your left buttock, and your right buttock. The space between your legs and your groin, your left thigh, knee, calf, shin, ankle, heel, rainbow arch of your left foot, the ball of your left foot, and all five of the toes of your left foot, your big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and your little toe. Your right thigh, knee, calf, shin, ankle, heel, rainbow arch of your right foot, the ball of your right foot, and all five of the toes of your right foot, your big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and your little toe. From head to toe, from toes to head, the fertile soil and land that is your body is now bright, illuminated with the warmth and the nourishment of the sun. With your next exhale, allow your body to feel heavy, as if the sun's rays are shining and pouring down on your body that is the earth. And with your next inhale, feel light, like the air, like the particles floating, carbon dioxide and oxygen, floating upwards towards the heavens, towards the sky. Exhale, feeling the sun's rays descend upon you. And inhale, feeling the air, the lightness float upwards towards the sky. Continue to alternate between these extremes, a feeling of this heaviness and connectedness down with the earth, and a feeling of lightness and possibility as you connect with the heavens for the next 5 breaths. And now, wherever you are with this practice, feel both of these experiences at the same time. And you feel the warmth and the light of the sun pouring down on you, heavy, covering all of you. And at the same time, you feel as light, like the air, like the oxygen, the carbon dioxide floating upwards towards the heavens, towards the sky. You feel both of these experiences in your consciousness at the same time. Now, gently let go of this practice and notice the natural weight, shape, and form of your physical body. Feel your body that is the earth, that is held by the earth herself. And now, with your next exhale, guide your awareness and attention to the center of your heart. Feel and see in the center of your heart a shimmering well of light, a little sun inside of you. Inhale, and you allow the light from outside to gather inwards and be stored to recharge this shimmering well of light. And then as you exhale, you let this light from this shimmering well shine and radiate outwards, lighting up the world around you. Inhale, gathering light in, receiving this light. And then exhale, letting this light shine outwards into the world. Continue to alternate between these experiences, gathering light inwards into the center of your being. And at the same time, then letting this light shine outwards. Alternate between these experiences for the next 5 breaths. And now, wherever you are, invite both of these experiences at the same time in your consciousness. Feel that you are both simultaneously gathering light inwards into your little sun inside of you, and at the same time letting your sun shine and radiate outwards into the world. And now gently let go of this practice and notice the natural texture, quality, and length of your breath. I will now describe images to you. Experience them without attachment and let them wash over you. The gentle glow of the setting sun, the last hour before sunset. It is golden hour. You see a winding path cutting through vast golden cornfields. Someone's footsteps line the trail. You follow the footsteps with a steady, unhurried pace. All of nature's harvest is cast in a warm, golden amber hue. The vastness of the late summer landscape stretches out before you. All is ripe, juicy, and abundant. You walk closer and you see a wide stretch of vibrant sunflower fields. The sun's rays dance over and off the smiling face of each sunflower. And your breath is in sync with the gentle swing of the sunflower petals. You approach the heart of the sunflower field, and with each gentle, patient step, little ladybugs scurry away. You stop and you take off your hat. The sun's golden rays kiss your skin. A sense of contentment saturates your consciousness and your being. You notice right next to you a sunflower with slightly withered petals. Its face is rich and ready for seed harvest. Your fingers tenderly cradle its neck, and your thumb gently brushes across the face of the sunflower. Tiny little seeds dislodge and fall into your palm. Your fingers feel their firm yet tender texture. You pick one and place it inside your mouth. A mild, tender sweetness spreads slowly inside of you, and you recognize this familiar taste. It's the taste of your sankalpa, the true nature and essence, the sweetness of your being. Now, from the depths of your being, connect and allow your sankalpa beyond your physical body, beyond your energy body, beyond your mental body, beyond your intuitive body, deep into your bliss body through all of the layers of your being. Allow your sankalpa to surface. And as it begins to surface and let itself be known to you, repeat your sankalpa, your heartfelt intention internally to yourself. Savor it in the deepest layers of your being with meaning and intention. As you savor your sankalpa, with your next inhale, let it with your little sun begin to radiate and shine outwards, flowing like this vast, limitless, infinite light inside of you. From within your bliss body, let it spread outwards to your intuitive body. Let it flow towards your mental body. Let it flow even further out, filling your energy body, and let it reach your physical body, saturating the whole of your consciousness and your being. Let every single part of you echo this truth that is deep inside of you. And you are welcome to stay here for as long as you wish, being with all of you, being as all of you. If you feel ready to allow this practice to gradually come to a close, then begin to allow your breath to become more audible, feeling your bliss body, your intuitive body, acknowledging your mental body, feeling the pulsating quality of your energy body, and also feeling the weight, shape, and form of your physical body. Let these sounds and the sound of my voice gradually awaken you to a more everyday state of consciousness. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. You may wish to rise gently and stretch. And we take a few moments here from this space and place connected with all the sheaths and layers of your body. My invitation is now to flow and transition into a mindful and intentional harvesting of the year that has passed. I have prepared some reflection and journaling questions that I would love to share with you. And if you would like, we can explore them together. So while keeping this consciousness, keeping this quality of your being with you, you may wish to reach for your journaling materials. And we're going to transition into the next part of our circle today. As we transition into the next part of the circle, please also make yourself comfortable. So the shape and the form that is you're holding for the next part of the practice might be very different from the previous cocoon that we were in for your Yoga Nidra. Instead of lying down on your back or side, you might wish to sit in a cross-legged position. You may wish to lie on your belly. You may wish to have a cushion to lean on. You may wish to sit on a chair. Whatever feels most supportive for you. And then as we transition into the journaling, the very first invitation to reflect and the question to connect with that I'd love to share with you is, what moment or moments brought me the most joy and fulfillment in this year? So let me repeat that. What moments or moment, if it is a single moment, brought me the most joy and fulfillment in this year? I'll leave about 2 minutes to connect with this question and to allow any answers to surface. And if we have any friends who wish to share in the chat, if you would like to be heard, to be seen, to be witnessed, to share your joyful and fulfilling moments with us, you are more than welcome. I will read and share your answers out with everyone. Debbie has just shared in the chat. Thank you so much. That was so relaxing. I'm glad this resonated with you, Debbie. There is this entire Yoga Nidra without the reference to the 5 sheaves, the 5 koshas, but the Earth-Element Yoga Nidra. This is available on my profile. Let me actually share the name for that so that you'll be able to find that easily after today's session in case you'd like to repeat that. So there are 2 versions, one without music, that is a free version, and then there's also a premium version which has music to accompany it as well. Katie has shared that was absolutely amazing. You are welcome, Katie. Debbie has shared, I normally have such a hard time sitting still when trying to meditate, but you made it so amazingly easy. I'm really glad to hear that, Debbie. That's great. And so, if in case we have any friends who just joined us, we are now onto the journaling and self-reflection part of our circle and retreat here today. And the very first question that we were reflecting on is, what moments brought me the most joy and fulfillment in this year? I'm really glad Ward has just shared in the chat. Really enjoyed your Nidra guidance. That's great to hear. You'll be able to find the recorded versions, both with music and without, on my profile. Nika, welcome back. And I'm so glad that this was illuminating for you. Thank you so much. I truly believe that we co-created together. So thank you for being here and for practicing together with me. We'll leave a few more moments to reflect on this prompt, which is, what were the memories or moments that brought us joy and this sense of fulfillment? Okay, yes. Let me share that in the chat actually. So the question, and I know some of you may be so blissed out from the Yoga Nidra that you might need a few moments, a little bit longer than a few moments to begin to come into that reflection space. Okay, I've also heard someone come back, so give me a moment as I close the door to prevent any. Hello, welcome back. So the first prompt is, what moments? Kibo. All right. Okay. Yeah. Didi is welcome. Wow. In fact, it's a special request. Okay, all right. Kibo, your special request is granted. Our dog will rush in any moment for your joy and delight. Kibo has mentioned in the chat, please let the dog in. We have a very mischievous Italian greyhound who is usually full of energy. Sometimes he is here for the session, sometimes not, depending on where we are in the practice. If we're in Yoga Nidra, of course, I don't want him to disrupt you, but here he is. making an entrance. Ciao, ciao, ciao. And yes, okay. So that was the first prompt. What moments brought me the most joy? Yeah, he is very cute. He is very mischievous and very poopy as well. Brought me the most joy and fulfillment in this year. Peg has just shared. Welcome, Peg. I'm so glad you could make it. Peg has shared watching sunrise over horizon in the country and practicing qigong in nature, especially near water. Wow. William, our dog, is called Didi. That's short for Didi Rimbaldo. It's a little bit of an inside joke, but yes, that's our dog's name. It's a spin-off of, some of you may know the Korean dish bibimbap. My husband was not able to pronounce it properly, and he would always say bibibimbap instead of bibimbap. He would add an additional B. And then we always joke that if we ever got a dog, we would name it kind of after the Korean dish, Bibi or Didi or something. And then, so he arrived, and now he is Didi. And that is the inside joke to his name. Peg, it's my pleasure to be here with you. Angie has shared watching eagles while nested amongst the trees on Texas Trinity Riverbank. Wow. Nat has shared, that's cute. I actually make my own for my boys. Beautiful. Feel free to keep the shares coming. And then for those of you who are still journaling on this question, take your time. Michelle has shared, my teenage daughter turning to me for comfort and holding my hand. Bedtime conversations with my 9-year-old son, making it through my 1 year separation. Thank you for sharing, Michelle. I'll leave just a few more moments in case anyone else would like to share, and then I will also read the next prompt. Nat has shared, I'm deciding to turn inward so much more this year and go deeper with my practice. That sounds really powerful, Nat. Sandy has shared, the moment my daughter got engaged. Gloria shared, this year was not a good year for me, but the support I got from my hubby and my mom makes me happy and joyful. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. Nika has shared, there were several. The first one was exploring Provence, France, with friends. And second one was spending quality time with my mom. The older she becomes, I can relate completely to that, Nika. Same with my elderly parents as well. Third one, intentional about carving out time for meditation. Beautiful. That is so powerful and much needed. The next prompt leading on to this, and I know that this year might not have been a good year for everyone, and perhaps this has been a year full of ups and downs, or perhaps this year has been a particularly challenging year for you. The next prompt is, what personal strengths, skills, or knowledge have I uncovered or cultivated in this year? So, what personal strengths, skills, or knowledge have I uncovered and cultivated this year? So, I'll type that in the chat as well. Katie has shared in response to the previous prompt, being with my kids for family time. My times in nature, laughter with my students all bring me joy, fulfillment, completing goals, yoga teacher training, coursework for my masters. Beautiful. Monica has shared in response to Neka, yeah, my mom is 86. Yeah. It's really precious, I think, for those of us who are tuning in. If you have an elderly family member, especially if they are your parents, we don't have very much more time left with them. So every moment is really so precious. So now coming into the second reflection prompt, again, let me repeat it. What personal strengths, skills, or knowledge have I uncovered and cultivated this year? I think this is a really powerful one for those of us, especially if you have been experiencing setbacks or challenges this year. Michelle has shared in the chat setting boundaries and holding to them. Wonderful. That sounds really powerful. Tan has shared, I no longer abandon myself. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hillary has shared in the chat, understanding other people's values and motivations that are maybe different from my own. Oh, that is such a powerful practice and important skill to acquire. Thank you for sharing that with us, Hillary. I can relate to that as well from this year, actually reflecting back. Beth shared in the chat. This sounds like a great connection with what Hillary shared. Accepting others as they are. We'll leave a few more moments in case anyone else would like to share. Of course, no obligation to share. The most important is that you keep these insights and reflections for yourself and hold them close to you. And I think sometimes we all need this reminder because, especially if it's been a tough year for you, it can be really hard to think back to joyful, rewarding moments or moments of fulfillment. But in every single year, no matter whether it was a good year, a bad year, a year full of ups and downs, year full of challenges, obstacles, of things not going as expected, there is always that possibility, and there's always the opportunity to reflect on where you have grown and how you have grown. And you have most definitely grown and become a more resilient and stronger person because of the time that has passed, because of the situations that you've been. The chat remains open. And the next prompt I'd like to share with you, which might be a little bit more nuanced, but very important as well to consider before we cast forward into the coming year, is how have my priorities and values shifted throughout this year? How have my priorities and values shifted throughout this year? So it might have shifted, it might not have shifted, but this question entails um, reviewing and assessing and becoming clear with what your priorities and values were, firstly at the start of the year, and then checking in to see if they have shifted through the year. And Kibo has responded to the previous question. I guess that's what it was for me. I had to keep on going despite so many unexpected challenges and hardships this year out of my control. Yeah. And it sounds like despite the challenges, what came out for you is like the strength that came out for you was this resilience and this perseverance of being able to keep going despite all of this. And that sounds like a really powerful skill. And Sue has responded to the third prompt, which is how have my priorities and values shifted throughout the year. Sue has shared, I have become a priority in my life. Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, Sue. I witness you, I see you, and at the same time, I also celebrate this priority. I celebrate you making yourself a priority in your life. And I also thank you for sharing this in the chat because I know for a fact so many people who are here are benefiting from hearing this. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sue. We'll stay for a little while more with this prompt. How have my priorities and values shifted throughout the year? Kathy is sending lots of hearts to Sue. And Peg has shared in the chat, pleasing others and meeting their needs has been my modus operandi and has shifted to making my own inclinations a priority. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Peg. I'll leave just about a minute more in case anyone else would like to share, and then I will share the next prompt. And of course, those of us who are still journaling and reflecting on this prompt, take as long as you need, as you wish. Nika has shared in the chat, prioritizing self care and self discovery, knowing that I am more than my job. My job does not define who I am as a person or individual. Beautiful. Thank you for that, Nika. That is so powerful. And I feel like also so many people have benefited from hearing that. So thank you for being vulnerable with us, for letting us witness you, witness this shift in your priority, and for empowering others. See, Monica is like, yes, Nika. All right, please feel free to keep the shares coming. Let me share the next prompt. So before we've looked a little bit about the moments that we've cherished, we've enjoyed, that brought us joy this year, that has brought us fulfillment. We looked at in the face of setbacks, the lessons we've learned, the challenges we've faced, what qualities and strengths we've accumulated and we've cultivated, which is really important. And then we've looked at how maybe our priorities and values might or might not have shifted and what they are in this year, what they have been. And the next thing we're going to look at before looking into the coming year is what aspects of my life do I want to prioritize and what do I want to let go of as I move into the next year. So perhaps what was your priority at the start of the year is still the priority right now, but actually is no longer, you've realized that this is no longer the priority that you would like to focus on. So it is time to let it go. So what would you like to let go of? And instead, what would you like to bring to surface? Would you like to really hone in on, to really let it become the heart of your practice, of your being, your interactions, your relationships, your life? Kathy, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your presence, your energy, your time, and your donation. It means so much to me. I wouldn't be able to do this without you. So thank you for that. Lots of resonance with Neka's comment as well from Nat. Nat says, Amen, Neka. All right. In response to the comment on prioritization and letting go, let's see. Nat Heshet, that was a big one for me this year. I'm leaving, or I left that behind already. So this connection with the job as association with the job not defining who you are as an individual. Kibo has shared, I'd like to let go of insecurity and prioritize self-compassion. Beautiful. Cliff, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your presence, your energy, your time, and your support. It means just so much to me. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Monica has shared, my priority was my mom. She had cancer, but now she is in remission. Yay, Monica. Thank you. Whoa, that's so great. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm so happy to hear that. So happy for you. My priority is me starting in this year. I will still care for her, but now I will come first because she doesn't need me as much. Beautiful. I'm very happy for you. Angie, thank you so much for your donation. Thank you for your presence, your time, your energy, your support. It means so much to me. Monica, let's see, in the chat, yeah, Kibo has been also celebrating your mom's remission. Hillary has shared, I want to let go of limiting myself through my fear of failing. This is such a big one, Hillary. Thank you for naming it, for putting it out there, and for acknowledging and wanting to make this your priority. We witness you. I see you. We witness you. And we are here also to hold you accountable for that. Research has shown, some of you know me from Tuesday Tribe, these weekly sessions, accountability and action taking sessions I've been holding throughout the year. Research has shown that when we tell someone we're going to do something, like, I'm going to make this a priority, this is important to me, I want to do this, we are more likely to do it. So to those of you who have shared in the chat that you want to make something a priority, yes, we are here to witness you. We are here to hold you accountable. We are here to cheer each other on. Thank you for that, Hillary, for sharing it and also inspiring other people to do the same. Letitia, yay, Monica, celebrating your mom's remission. Elise, yes, Hillary. Also the same. This your message, Hillary, is resonating with lots of other people. Sandy has shared, I want to let go of being triggered by drama and games, and I want to add a higher awareness and calm mind to create more. That's great. That sounds like a really important and powerful practice to have and state of being. And Nat has responded to Monica. Yes, Monica, we've been supporting you in your journey and continue to be here for you and Miss Dora. Um, Lots of resonance in the group. Katie, thank you for being here, for your support, your donation. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Let's see. A few more comments that come in the chat. Dia has shared, I want to let go of the grip that perceived judgment for others has on my life, right? Letting go of what other people think of me and really being in your personal power, right? Is that right? Let me know if I understood that right, Dia. It sounds like, yeah. And no worries, Sandy. I thought that might have been a typo. I didn't read that out, the game's word. Letitia said, I want to prioritize my well-being through my spiritual practices and quality time in nature. I want to let go of self-doubt and people-pleasing. Yes, this sounds like it's a big one in our circle today, in our community today. Monica, shout out to Nat. You have been so helpful all year long. Big hugs to you. Big hearts as well. Peg, good news for your mom and self care. I cared for a sister with a terminal illness and later contracted cancer. I don't regret the care given to my sister, but I'm more aware of the need for self care. Thank you for that, Peg. That is such an important insight that you shared with us, and I think we all benefit. Neka has shared to Monica, amazing news, wishing your mom all the best and complete healing. Sandy would like to be a light for others. Wow, that is so beautiful. Elise has shared, Dia, it is important and feels great when you realize it happens. This letting go of the grip of judgment from other people on you. Katie has shared, I want to prioritize meditation, yoga, time in nature, and laughter with my family, deep peace. Monica sending hugs and love. Thank you to Nika. And Monica sending love to Peg as well. Great. It sounds like this question is a really big one. I'm glad it brought out so much. And probably there are so many things. Yesterday, when I was sharing this question to us in the group, after I shared the question, there was a moment of silence, and everyone was like, the things I want to let go of, give me an hour to write them down. And then, actually, a very powerful practice later on, if you wish, for those of you um, write down the thing you want to let go of, fold it on a piece of paper, fold it into a longish slip of paper, and then I like to use a candle, and you can use anything, a torch, something. Then let it burn and let it be let go of this burning or cleansing ceremony that sometimes we often do. Some other teachers do this as well during the full moon. It's also a really powerful practice to do during transitional periods as we are right now. So right now we're almost at the halfway of this liminal space between this Christmas and what is Befana. I cannot remember the name of Befana. Befana is the name of this holiday that's celebrated. What is Befana in English? Okay, but there's these couple of days until like roughly the first week of January. I cannot remember the name of it. Epiphany, Epiphania. Yes, thank you so much, Patricia. It is a special and sacred time that is celebrated in many different cultures, and some people celebrate it through the 12 days of Christmas. So this is different from the 12 days of Christmas that we hear during the carols, from day 1 until day 12, where you have the Advent calendar, you do little gifts and things like that. These 12 days are known as this liminal space of in between. So we're not quite in the new year yet, not really there. And then at the same time, we're bidding the old year goodbye. So this transitional phase is an especially potent time for your personal practice, and also to cultivate this letting go. I see. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so we have lots of other friends. Monica has shared. In Spanish, we call it Dia de Reyes, and we celebrate on January 6th. Thank you for that. And thank you so much for your donation, Michelle. Thank you for being here, for coming back to support me. It means so much to me. Thank you for your presence. I appreciate it so much. Peg, thank you so much for being here. Welcome back. Thank you for your shares. Yeah, so much. So it sounds like, okay, we've lots to let go of. And then later on, if you feel like just by writing it down, it's not enough, do whatever is necessary for you to help yourself to let it go. And for those of you who have a connection with something much greater than yourself, perhaps in your religion, your spirituality, whatever practice you have, I really enjoy the practice of burning away whatever needs letting go. And I do that on a regular basis, not necessarily every full moon, but whenever I feel like I need this external support to let go of something, I do this ritual, and then I trust that by burning this away, I set that intention that I am going to let this go. And also I trust that this greater force that I call, for me, I call it the source. Some of us call it the divine, other people call it God, Allah. I mean, whatever name you want to call it, if you have this connection with something greater than yourself, then do whatever ritual helps you let that go. And so that you can really be in that space of trust and fully then concentrate on the things that you want to prioritize and set forth for the coming year. Gerard, thank you for your donation. I'm so glad that you could make it today. Thank you for being here. Dia, welcome back. Thank you so much for your shares and for coming back and your support. Kibo, same to you as well. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing about me with other people. Yes, Letitia, no, I am glad that these reminders are helpful for you and that this circle is what is resonating with you. And I'm many of you who have been in my circles, you know that I am a true believer that whatever you prioritize, whatever you show up for, or whatever shows up in your life is what you need in that moment. And the best gift we can give ourselves is to really be present in every moment or situation, whether that is an unpleasant experience, a painful experience in that moment, or a joyful experience, a torturous experience, whatever that is. Kathy just said, great way to start the new year. Thank you for your time. You are so welcome. Um, there's one more last question. If those of you, if any of you have to hop off, feel free to go ahead and hop off. I have one last prompt, and this is already a little bit casting forward into the new year, if you wish. And this isn't really much of planning. It comes more from that space of connectedness. And some of you may have New Year resolutions. Some of you may have the practice of planning out the year. I know some of you who are more strategic. I have some friends who do a practice called year on the wall, and they plan the entire year from scratch. And some people are a little bit more abstract, where maybe they have an idea or a direction of how they want to go, where they would like to be, though not specifically exactly the things to do. So, what I found really helpful for me that I've been enjoying for the last couple of years is to pick a 3 word mantra or a word of the year if a mantra doesn't resonate with you. And an example, for example, I know some people who have been sharing with me have said that their word for the year, this year or next year, is ease, or that could be bliss, it could be abundance. For me, last year, actually this year, not last year, the mantra is magic in motion. And so every time I encountered a situation that was mundane or challenging or difficult, to remind myself, yes, magic is all around, magic in motion. And I reminded myself that I am the magician who creates the magical moments, and I can find them in every single moment and also in the most unexpected encounters and situations. So that was my practice for the year. And my coming practice is a little bit different. I will share. But if anyone would like to share before we wrap up the circle, please go ahead. Oyasumi, Kibo. The fifth question. So, Rosemary, in response to your question, let me type that out. Apologies. The last prompt. So, the fourth prompt was indeed the prompt on priorities, like shift, like what values and what would you like to actually prioritize in the coming year. And then this very last one is actually to pick a 3 word mantra. Last prompt. Pick a 3 word mantra or word of the year for 2024. And also, my encouragement is, remember, just at the beginning, I mentioned like it's very easy to do these reflections from here. Drop into here and allow the word or the mantra to come to you. Just as we did in the Yoga Nidra practice. And also, I mentioned this in one of my courses, The Art of Making Difficult Decisions. When we make a decision from the logical mind, even if it checks all the boxes, sometimes it still doesn't feel right. And then when we go and make the decision, it doesn't resonate energetically, it's not in alignment. So before, yes, we do have to assess logically and consider the past situations. We have to consider the mental patterns and frameworks that we have, and weigh the pros and cons. But and well, not but and also, it's really important to make that, to allow this direction to come from this heart space, to come from the bliss body, the deepest layers of your being. So my invitation to you is, of course, you don't have to the answer might not come now, because we are still in the last year. This year is not quite over yet. Is to sit with this question. What is, so instead of pick a 3-word mantra, the question might be, what is my 3-word mantra or my word for the year? And you stay with this question. You meditate on this question. You take a walk and you let this question simmer inside of you. And then when the moment is ripe, the answer will reveal itself to you. Let's see, Caddy has shared, I like that this year my word was peace, but I think I'll put it in motion. Peace in motion. Beautiful. It could also be peace in practice. That might also be a nice one. KA shared in the chat, thank you for insight during a difficult year. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. It is not, especially for those of us tuning in, if you've had a difficult year, it's not easy to acknowledge that it's a difficult year. So I witness you, I see you, especially for those of you who have been having a difficult year, those of you in a place, a space of pain, separation, difficulty, scarcity. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. And at the same time, also, I want to acknowledge you. I want to witness what you've experienced, and also witness the resilience, witness the lessons you've learned, the strengths that you've gathered, you've uncovered, you've cultivated for yourself despite the difficulties. Beth has shared, I think before I wanted moksha, and now I want ananda, which is bliss. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Beth. Katie has shared, oh, maybe peace through love. I think that's it. Yeah. Sandy, thank you so much for your shares, for your donation and your support. It means so much to me. And Dia has shared, my rough draft, I love that you said it's a rough draft, is nourish what I want to grow. Beautiful. Sandy has shared, I love seeing the magic in all situations. Rosemary has shared, mine is with God, all things are possible. I have a stone that is written on. Thank you for sharing that with us, Rosemary. That is so intimate and precious. Thank you for that. Okay, we'll take a couple of moments, and I think this is a great place to wrap up. And firstly, I want to thank all of you, whether you joined us from the beginning, the middle, and the end. And also, I want to say, what can I say? My heart is so full. It is so precious to me. And the first prompt that we mentioned was, the moments that brought us joy and fulfillment. And I think every time I'm on InsightTimer, recently more so than ever, there are always unexpected things, and I always leave feeling this fullness in my heart. So I want to thank you and express my gladness and gratitude for that. And there's lots of resonance here in the chat today. Elise has shared a year of action. Yes. Marie J has shared, for now, I'm leaning towards connectedness as the word, and everything is energy as the mantra. Beautiful. All right. I forgot to do this at the beginning, also because one thing led to the other. And then I started to talk about the koshas, the three layers of being. And then we had some to and fro about intuition. And then we went into the practice of Yoga Nidra. But I would love to close today's practice with a closing gesture, even if we didn't open it with that gesture. And some of you may recognize this gesture. But before that, one more sharing from Michelle and also Zawadi. Michelle has shared, I love your expression, I am the magician. I was thinking magic, spirit in all things. But my heart says, invite magic in, a work in progress. Beautiful. Zawadi has shared, thank you so much, Wenling. I joined just before the Yoga Nidra started. I was planning to do something else, and then I saw you live. I'm so glad you joined. It has been really beautiful and powerful. Thank you for being here, Zawadi. I hope this has been nourishing for you. I know it's not been an easy time. Yeah. Let's close our circle today. Oh, let's see. Zawadi has shared. My word for the coming year is voice. I look forward to meditating on the mantra that will emerge from this. Beautiful. All right, let's close the circle. This will never end. Otherwise, if you leave me here, and I will never end. Um, I love this gesture because in many cultures, this is a gesture of prayer, of surrender. We open to receive. And across so many religions, cultures, philosophies, spiritualities, we have the same gesture. Yes, I'm ready to receive. I don't know. Please guide me and show me the way. And one of my teachers, Roger Yanker, he used to use this metaphor. And in one hand, we hold the past. In the other hand, we hold the future. I added this additional layer where the past we cannot change, but we can choose how we look into the past, how we choose to write our past so that it empowers the present. And then in the other hand is the future, which is unknown, which we don't know, but we can choose how we want to face it. And this next part comes from my other teacher. I have many teachers. These are spectacular teachers. We connect them through this thin thread that is the present moment. And this comes from my teacher, Dr. Uma Dinsmore Tuli. She is a women's well-being yoga teacher. She is a feminist, also an eco-feminist who has authored many books, and she is really a wonderful teacher, sight to behold. And we intertwine them to form this bird. And for me, this bird is a symbol of who we are. We fly into the past, the present, the future, and we are always doing this in every passing moment, connecting with our past, projecting into the future, being aware in the present. And then we rest this bird here. And here, let's take 3 breaths as a collective, breathing in through your nose and out through the mouth for the 3 levels of existence. Heaven, of course, I will share them in the chat. Heaven, the heart of the human, and the earth. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And then as you breathe out, let's send the breath all the way to the earth. Feel the earth, know the earth, and trust the earth. And second round, connecting with your heart space. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, send the breath to your heart. Fill the well of your heart. Acknowledging and embracing your inner teacher. Last round, connecting with the heavens, the divine. And we surrender to the divine. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Send the breath to the heavens. And we take a moment here to bow from the crown of the head down towards the heart, towards the earth, acknowledging this sacred space you hold, bridging heaven and earth. This is where you are, in the center, in the heart of it all. And then slowly and gently, when you're feeling ready, letting your eyes blink open. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for sharing your energy, your time, your presence. Thank you to everything and everyone that made it possible so that you could be here with us and to share your presence, so that we could be here as a collective and so that we could co-create this together. I know that some of you may want to watch this on replay, so I'll do my best to extract today's video as well as the audio practice. And then in the coming days and weeks, it will be available on my InsightTimer profile, and then the video will also be available on my YouTube channel. So let me share the names of my teachers, of course. The most recent one I mentioned is Dr. Uma Dinsmore Tooley. Those of you who are yoga teachers, who are women, who care about the environment, her work will deeply resonate with you. She's all around a spectacular, inspiring, and amazing human being. I highly recommend her work. The metaphor that I used earlier on today of the ocean wave being its closest contact point to the ocean, you being the best inner teacher that is you, comes from Eric Schiffman, who is the founder of Freedom Yoga. And also, you'll be able to find a snippet of an extract from an interview that he did with one of his students, and that's called Moving into Stillness. And you can find that on my profile as well. And then, of course, Dr. Roger Yanker. Some of you know me in my capacity as a yoga qigong instructor. I do many things. It is difficult to explain or to concisely say in one single line what it is I do. I have many tools that I use depending on the situation, but these are all the spectacular teachers I have had the fortune to study with. So he is the founder of Tai Chi Easy, and also he teaches Qigong as well. He served on the board of the Qigong association in the US for a long time. He is a Oriental medicine doctor. Has authored several books as well. Yes, so I highly recommend his work. So please explore all of these spectacular human beings and all of their work as well. Let's see. Michelle, I'm so glad this resonated with you. That's great. Sue, thank you so much for being here, for your donation. Thank you so much. It is, what can I say? Katie, chat in the chat, just what I needed. So insightful and beautiful. You're welcome. Monica shared in the chat. Thank you, Wenling, and everyone here. Great way to end the year. Yes, it is such. This is the circle I needed. I scheduled this on InsightTimer, knowing that of course we would benefit, but this is for myself. This is what I needed. I really long to be in community, and this is where I am. Marie J. Shed, thank you so much, Wenling. This was so wonderful. So much insight and so much positive energy from me and from everyone here. You are welcome, Marie J. Thank you for being a part of this. And as I mentioned from before, this will be available. The audio recording, I will do my best to split it up because there are various sections. That was the beginning where we were talking a little bit about the theory of the 5 sheaths, the koshas, the layers of our being, about the 3 levels of existence, about connecting with intuition, a few different themes on that. So I'll break that audio down. And then there was the Yoga Nidra practice on the earth element that also integrated the 5 koshas and the sheaths. And then we had the reflection prompts where we looked back on the year and then we shared with each other. Oh, what a rich circle today. So let me quickly share the name of my YouTube channel, as well as my Instagram, as well as my group on InsightTimer. It's called Flow with Wenling. And then also for those of you who want to practice the Yoga Nidra practice from earlier that we did today, the almost the same thing is already available on my profile. It is called Yoga Nidra to Return to Mother Earth. And then also the version without music as almost the same name. Let me quickly find that, and you'll be able to listen to that later today already, because the other resources will take a little bit of time to extract. So in case you want to return to the practice, these are the tools that are already available on my profile. And also, you can, of course, always explore any of the other yoga nidras that are freely available on my profile. If you enjoyed today's circle and you are curious about the metaphors I shared, for example, about the water element, the earth element, about the three levels of existence, I highly encourage you to explore the InsightTimer course that is available on my profile that is called The Power of the Creative Cycle. Oh, there's some of you also exploring. I have a few other courses as well. CJ is currently on the wintering course. There's a recently released course on InsightTimer called Wintering, Wonder, Warmth, and Magic. And that is all about the winter season and a little bit about the water element and how we can harness the power of connecting with intuition and this deep nourishment and this deep connection with the collective consciousness that is very much present outside in the northern hemisphere right now for our friends who are feeling this winter. And if you're curious about the elements, about the cycles of life and how to flow with life, I really highly encourage you to explore the power of the creative cycle, which is a course about the five elements and about the cyclicality of all things and beings that we are intrinsically a part of. So this course has been very well rated, and this is from the beginning of my journey as a spiritual seeker until where I am right now, and then becoming a teacher myself, this has been the most powerful thing I have encountered. And I believe this will continue to be my life's work. It will continue to be what I share with the world and the heart of what I do. So it brings me great joy and pleasure to share it with you. And I'm curious to know also for you what it brings to surface for you as well. So thank you so much, everyone. And before we wrap up, I want to thank InsightTimer. Thank you so much, InsightTimer, for being this space and place and this vessel that is holding us. I want to thank the team that have been working so hard and that are still here on the 30th of December, making sure that things work technically and we don't run into any issues. Thank you so much for making it possible, for supporting us to really be a part of this transformation. And every time I'm here on InsightTimer, it brings me such joy to know that we are part of this big movement. There are many other meditation teachers, and I can't remember. I think it was Ruben. One of you may know his work. So he's one of the earliest InsightTimer teachers who have been sharing his meditation and his work online, and he works a lot with youths. And he often talks about how we think that to have a change and transformation, it can feel very heavy if we are the change, right? Like we have to transform the world and we have to be a part of be this movement. But we are a part of the movement. So if you are not being the change but be a part of the change, that is a small but very important shift that really then oh yes, CJ, thank you so much for mentioning that. I totally forgot about that. Again, so many things. So if you have a little bit more time, I have one final prompt for you. It's not really a prompt, it's a little bit of an exercise. This is a visualization exercise. Before doing that, maybe we don't have time to do it today. Perhaps you may wish to do it on your own. I would like to invite you to imagine that right now, okay, connecting with yourself, right? Having this richness of all that we've harvested. Thanks so much for pointing that out, CJ. I completely forgot. There are so many things that's coming up right now. Imagine right now, this is the 30th of December, 2024. It is 1 year. It's been one amazing year. I don't know where you are right now. I don't know where I am right now, but this has been the best year of your life. And now you are here, 30th of December, 2024. So you are in front of me or a friend or someone you trust, someone you love, someone you have a deep connection with. This has been a great year because, and then you share. Now, this practice is most powerful when shared verbally with someone. like a real person. We can do this practice journaling. You can write this down, you can visualize this, you can share it in the chat. But this exercise is most powerful when done verbally with in the presence and environment of a figure that you feel not judged by, that you trust, that you know, for example, loves you unconditionally. Because when you then verbally say out loud what this year has been, right? Notice that I say has been because when you say it in terms of I am feeling this. I have accomplished this, because the year has already passed. And the reason why we say it out loud is because when we write it down, or even sometimes we don't even write our intentions down, then it's not real to us, to the brain, to the mental aspect of the mind. It's not real. There is still room for self-doubt. There is still room for questioning, for disbelief, for anxiety, for the inner critic to come up and to smash those thoughts down. Instead, when you say it to someone else, it becomes real, it becomes possible, and it is this first seed to plant. So it, now that I've mentioned it, actually, there are some limitations and it cannot be done fully given the format of InsightTimer. And when I do it for example, on Zoom, I have people go in breakouts and they go in pairs, where they've already established this trust with each other. And some of you actually, I think, at least if you are here, we did this the year before, amongst our groups of yoga teachers. If you recall, we had this accountability and community group for yoga teachers, and I had them do this exercise at the very beginning of the year. So, seeing this out loud is a really powerful and transformative experience, but it's really uncomfortable. You don't want to dare to say what it is that is your wildest dreams. But it is only by saying what is your wildest dreams, by putting it out there, that the universe hears it. And most importantly, you hear it yourself. You acknowledge it. Go for it. So this is what I would like to wrap up and leave you with. And thank you so much, CJ, for reminding me to say this and share this. So this is my invitation, or maybe even a little bit of a challenge to you, since we can't quite do it because of the format on InsightTimer. Sit with this question, and then at the beginning of the year, find a person or find a community, a group of people with whom you trust. Try this exercise. And as you do it, give it your all. Really give it your all. And then let me know how it goes for you. We connect back in a year's time. All right? Let me know how that goes for you. For me, it has been, I encountered this exercise a few years back. And it has been really powerful for me. So yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, InsightTimer. um, Try this challenge, try this practice. I wish you a wonderful, magical, yeah, can I type the prompt? Yes, of course, Michelle. So um, you're welcome. Give me a second. So remember that this is a prompt, like it's not a written prompt. You can write the answers, but the most important is to say it out loud. This is why I didn't originally type the prompt. So, because it can be rephrased in various different ways. So, a way of phrasing it might be, it is now 30th December 2024, and this has been the best year of your life, because, and then you answer. I have been to. So let me know if that's clear. So that is the prompt, But then, so someone can ask you this question. So that's why it's good to have another person. So the person will then set the frame like, oh, like, hey, it's like 30th December. How's this year been for you? So that person can ask and have this conversation with you. And it is as if you imagine that you are there 1 year from now and you are living it. Remember earlier today, we talked about the five sheaths and the layers of the being. So it's even more powerful if you do a practice, maybe like Yoga Nidra or whatever practice that helps you connect with all five sheaths so that you feel your physical body, you connect with the energetic body, the mental body, intuitive body, but also your bliss body through all layers of your being so that you feel this elevated sense and state of being, and then you create your reality. Right? Those of you who are into manifestation, this is very important. You create from the state that you want to be. So if you manifest from a state of scarcity, limitation, sadness, it will not work. What works best is when you are deeply connected with all the layers of your being and at that elevated state of being, then you create your reality. So keep this practice for a day when you really feel like, yes, I'm ready. I'm excited to do this. I'm going to give it a try. Or maybe if it seems like too much, at least on a day and a moment where you feel curious and like, okay, I will give it a shot. I'm open. I'm curious. I will see what will happen. Yeah, let me know if that is clear or if any questions come up for you, Michelle. And then also, of course, throughout the rest of the remaining days of the year and into the coming year, if any of you would like to connect with me, if any questions come up from today's circle and you want to drop me a message, whether in the group, which is Flow with Wenling, let me type that again, or you can drop me a private message on InsightTimer as well. A few people have sent me messages, asked me questions and things like that. Or if you want to work with me closely one-on-one, I do also do coaching one-on-one. I work with people who are in transition, who are looking to really step into their true creative power. I work with people who are on their spiritual journey and want to really deepen and get to know the core and essence of who they are. You can always drop a message and I will send you a few more details and information on how we might work together in the coming year. Yeah, so I think this is a good place to wrap up. Thanks for mentioning that, CJ. It completely slipped my mind. So many things came up from our time together. I wish you a wonderful, warm, magical, um, really magnificent ending to this year and a year ahead that is full of possibilities because that is the best that can happen, right? Full of possibilities. And I hope to see you soon. So, those of you, actually, next week, let me do a quick announcement. Next week, I will be here on InsightTimer. There will be another live. I will be experimenting with a new format. Some of you have known me from my Tuesday Tribe sessions, where they are accountability sessions, and we move beyond self doubt and begin to take action from this three-step process. I've merged it, and now we're going to do some moving meditation, a little bit of breath work, and then we're going to take action. So this is a new format that's happening next Tuesday. If you're free, join us. You can find the information on my InsightTimer profile under the events tab. And then also you can follow me so that you know when the next event is happening. Yeah, thank you so much. And I wish you a wonderful end of this year and a 2024 that is where anything and everything is possible. And I'll see you there.